Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the topic of youth crime. My presentation will be divided into three parts. First is about the background of youth crime and their contemporary society. Secondly, I will set 4 examples about the nowadays youth crime and analyze them. Finally, I will draw conclusions through my analysis. First, check the background. What can we think of when it comes to the younger generation? They are young, passionate, energetic, and so on. They have many titles, and as tradesmen of every age, they are prized and criticized by the whole society. The beat generation, trouble, and the rule breakers are also the comment they have had in the media and some articles. Malicious media have a great influence on the image of young generation in the society. Through their description, young people can be law-abiding good citizens and receive great praise. They can also be a big problem in the society, stealing, robbing, and being involved in crime and gang activities. Criminal activities is a particular concern. Young crime now became an important problem to the society and it involves many complicated issues. But here's the good news that the young crime rate is decreasing. Data from ABC show that 49 and 180 young offenders processed against by the police in the 2018 to 19, the youth offender rate decreased to the lowest in the time series. Now I will cite 4 examples of youth crime to better explain the problem. The first example is a 14-year-old boy who has fiction with knives stabbed a man to death. A 14-year-old boy who had fiction with knives stabbed a man to death. A court has heard he is alleged to have attacked Mr. Adnan after arguing with him in the Post-Street area of the city on 21 June. Andrew Tuesday prosecuting said though he is only 14 years old, he has an established history of carrying knives. The boy was given a caution when he was aged 13 after being found carrying a large hunting knife. 2 days after Mr. Adnan's death, a knife fell out of his pocket while he was in a cafe. The night before, a family member saw a knife on his bed and photographed it. It showed that in February he tried to buy 2 knives online but failed because he did not provide proof of his age. In early June, he repeatedly looked at news stories on his phone that involved fatal knife stabbings. On his phone were over 600 images of knives, 200 or so created in the month before the killing. The boy denied his killing, and he said this was an accident or that it happened in self-defense because the victim believed that the young man had stolen his bicycle and shot at him, that the young man felt threatened and eventually took the knife impulsively. And through this example, we not only saw the fact of serious crime caused by young people, but also felt the serious problems behind the young people. We are supposed to pay more attention to the media description of young men, while highlighting the seriousness of the situation. That is, this young man has been very interested in the knife since he was a child and has repeatedly tried to buy and watch related violent news. Parents lack guidance to him, and people around him lack attention to his behaviors. Family reasons are one of the important causes of young people's crime. It is not just a problem of education, but also the class problem behind the family. It is known that this young man has a good family background and his parents belong to the middle class. However, his parents' little concern for his daily life makes him lack of spiritual awareness of violence. We should actually see these deep-seated problems in the media reports of the incidents. And the second example is linked the crime to the racial level. The debate on the use of criminal justice against children and young people has once again attracted people's attention. The reduction in the criminalization of children and young people seen over the last decade has not benefited all groups equally. The negative perceptions of children and young people from BAME communities driven by the racialized constructs of youth crime mean that they cannot be diverted away from the criminal justice system in the same way as their white counterparts. This is similarly the case for children who are looked after by the state, with some children in care experiencing disproportionate criminalization. There are a series of such conviction associations that aim to negatively represent racialized young people as a unique, special category of crime and propose special risk to be managed through interventional criminal justice practices. Wrong policies will accelerate these results and will undoubtedly cause the number of convicted children from BAME community to double. Study has shown that it's not the real crime that lead to high conviction rate, but the assumption about race that provide information for our concept of crime. And the third example is link the youth crime to the guns. Over 10,000 children in UK are currently involved in country-line drug stealing, and according to the police, the figure is an extremely conservative estimate. This modern slave has been drawn into the highly organized network of several thousands gangs who send drugs from cities to customers in rural areas and small towns. They are getting younger as primary school kids are increasingly being used as mules because they have no touch dealing with the police. Through this news, we can see that the relationship between youth and guns is actually very complicated, and the relationship between youth and guns may be comes up. Some illegal activities may not be carried out deliberately by young people, but when they are forced and deceived, and this evidence show that some media have certain prejudices against teenagers and youngs. And here is the last example. Treating young people like criminals actually makes violent crime worse. Young people have been labeled as troublemakers. Unfortunately, the response to the troubled young people is often negative and punitive. The state and other organizations and institutions strengthen control through informal, formal, and legal structures. This can take the form of zero tolerance punishment in schools, together treatment in the justice system, or increased surveillance of stray youth. Troy, age 13, from a depraved neighborhood, talk about how his group of friends are targeted by the police. They chase us for no reason, for us for no reason. We would just ride our bikes just like that. They actually right behind. They are grown men. Don't they have nothing better to do? This entire circles pushing forward about problems amongst everyday reporting out of control or antisocial young people are only used to marginalize and slander them further. The more young people have embedded this negative opinion, the more difficult it is for them to actively participate in social activities and the greater the possibility of the crime. So, to sum up, youth crime rates are declining, though it is important to understand the patterns in which young people are disproportionately victim of crime. Crime is associated with a low SES background, but white-collar and or middle-collar crime are often overlooked. In addition, crime figures show that certain ethnic groups are more likely to be criminalized because of institutionalism. The level of gangs needs to be carefully considered. It is often a word that brings certain connotations, but it is vast exaggeration of what the young people involved actually do, and the media has also begun to reflect on their representation against the youth. And this is my reference of these slides. Thanks for watching.